Okay. Hola. Say something
Hello
nice.
and welcome to New Mexico Day Trips. We're here. We made it, and the video is ready. Thanks to Toby's new computer.
Toby's new computer. Thanks to Kevin putting together my new computers. We should get the thanks here. Because
Well,
without him,
you had to do the editing.
there would be no new computer. So let me mention a little bit about why this new computer is so good. Before this new computer, it used to take 1 hour and 14 minutes to render. Rendering is the process of taking all your edits in various tracks and things and turning it into a single tracked movie. So if I was rendering a 30-minute long video, it used to take 1 hour and 15 minutes to render. Today, I rendered a 43-minute video in less than 8 minutes. That's how much better. So it's a savings in time of, not quite an order of magnitude, but damned close.
Yeah. You got comments?
Did you, I do, but did you introduce yourself?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Didn't I?
I don't think you did.
Oh, I'm Shelley
You
Carney.
were dancing.
I'm Shelley Carney. Twice I introduced myself now. And it's Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody.
And I'm Toby Eunice. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everyone as well. I don't know what else to say. Let me do my housekeeping, then we'll go on to movie time.
Popcorn.
So, what? We should have popcorn when we're watching movies. Now that you mentioned.
I know, right?
We would appreciate it if before you leave tonight, you'd like our video. YouTube likes it when you like our video. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, the entirety of your social network. That way we can grow the channel. And finally, if you are not already a subscriber, I won't ask you to explain why, but take this opportunity to click on that subscribe button. When you see the notifications bell, ring the notifications bell. And that way, every time we announce a live stream or we start a live stream, you'll receive a notification. That way, you'll be in the know. And ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing better in life than being in the know. Ask Shelley.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Golden Key Nut says, Happy Thanksgiving, Shelley and Toby. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Golden Key Nuts. And Golden Key Nuts, isn't there? There's some kind of wordplay in there.
I have no idea.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family and or friends or business associates. Who knows what kind of Thanksgiving it is.
Yeah, because that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. I'm sharing Thanksgiving with my business partner and my business partner's husband, who's my best male friend. She's my best female.
And computer put her together.
Exactly. He deserves the least I can do is
host
have Thanksgiving. Host Thanksgiving.
That's right.
So
okay. How was your week?
Let me see. I got a new computer.
Mm-hmm. And you got a new
camper shell for my truck, which lets me be more flexible and I'm assembling a rug floor for it, what do they call it? Bed rug.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a bed rug. The company that produces them doesn't have one for the long bed Frontier yet. So I made my own. Gadelcon. Oh, that's okay. Hi, Gadelcon. There's CMFLLC.
And there's Colorado.
How do you doing, Colorado? Happy Thanksgiving or happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. So those were the good things. New computer, new top. And now I can go do stuff even if there's bad weather. And I think I'm going to. I'm going to do stuff without you. Well, because I'll be able to sleep in the back of the truck, and I don't want you sleeping in the back of the truck. I don't think that's fair to you.
Why should you sleep in the back of the truck?
Because I can.
Because I can.
Yeah, because I can. It doesn't bug me.
But it'd be cold.
It doesn't bug me to sleep in the back of the truck.
Cold.
Wow. Facebook says, be ready to start. Thank you, Facebook. We're already started.
I think it's on that other one because somehow it got split up.
Oh, that other.
The other Facebook channel. Or something.
So how was your week?
Busy. I'm so busy because I'm doing this promotion for the content creators super stack, and it's keeping me real busy creating videos and social media posts
And attending live streams.
talking about it on my live stream.
Being
And I
guest
have
on
another
live
live
streams.
stream tomorrow with, that guy with the
guy that we just
Books
saw.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did they pick Thanksgiving Day? I don't quite
Because
understand.
that's the
marketing.
day that was left.
Oh, I see.
I got the leftovers.
You got the leftovers. All right. Well, remind me after we finish
I'm going to be
this show.
so dang good that he's going to have me back because,
Because you are you.
I'm so good.
Yeah. I can't do that with my hair. Sorry.
And Mary Green's here.
Hi, Mary Green. How are you doing? Happy pre-Thanksgiving. Remind me after the show and I'll go buy it so that we have it.
Buy what?
The info stack. Didn't you want me to buy it?
Yeah. Well, you or me. Info stack. And if you guys are interested in the info stack for content creators, you can get it at deal, D-E-A-L, deal.livecast.life. And it's $49.
And if they buy it through livecast.
And it includes.
Rats. I just misspelled that, folks. Sorry.
And Toby doesn't know how to spell a domain that he owns.
Let's see.
So anyway, it includes my course, which is it's valued at and selling at $299 when it's not in this thing, and this thing's only $49. So even just my course alone makes it worth it. And then there's 24 other courses and check sheets, and there's ebooks, and there's training workshops and all sorts of great stuff in there. So highly recommend it. It's pretty super cool. And
how did they find you? How did you end up?
If you go buy it, I get a commission.
If they go to deal.livecast.life, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How did they find you?
I have no idea. They probably Googled content creators and I came up.
Yeah, you do.
Because I
don't.
a creator.
I come up under, if you do old farts, like that's Google old farts. And
no, I don't think I want to Google that. Oh.
Now you got my curiosity up. I'm going to have to do it after the show. See if I do show up. All right. So let's do.
Did you put that on the screen?
I did. Deal. And I spelled it
correctly
the second time. Yeah.
Life.
Oh, you mean put it on the screen like that?
Yeah, that's what
that's now.
There it is. Deal.livecast.live.
And that is
correct. I talked about it in my show today's, and I also talked about why you would want to do something like that and how to do something like that. So if you have more interest in that story, go watch my show from earlier today on my YouTube channel, Shelley Carney Livestream Coach. So my handle is at Shelley Carney on YouTube. I took it.
Oh, good. Yeah. You might as well take advantage of that.
I know there's other Shelley Carneys in the United States, but I'm like,
no, get it while you can.
I'm first, me.
I got at T Eunice, even though there's 8 million other T Eunices out there.
Yeah. You got it first, huh?
Yeah. The early bird gets the proverbial worm.
Or the handle.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about our show. Well, you explain why we didn't have a show last week.
Okay. So for those of you who didn't read the newsletter, I'll tell you the story. If you did read the newsletter, it's a rehash. And what happened was Toby got a new computer. And his computer wasn't ready yet. And he didn't have a lot of time because he got the new topper installed last week. And he's had to get the Rodecaster hooked up to the computer. And that was a whole deal. And so, yeah, got behind on everything.
I would like
That's why we didn't have a show.
I would like to do a more descriptive, more definitive answer for I got a new computer. Let's see what happened. What happened was my good friend Kevin, Shelley's husband, came over one day and we sat down and using some website called
Parts Picker.
Pick a computer parts picker. Kevin selected, I told him what I wanted. I told him I wanted a high performance graphics computer that enabled me to edit at practically the speed of light and render even faster. And Kevin went through all the parts that I needed. And then we just ordered them on Amazon. They came in over the next week or so. And
Oh no,
what?
weevils.
What?
I said, oh no, weevils.
Weevils.
Otero County.
Weevil County, Newtown here in Otero County. Civil and hair harvest, but not cost effective to sell to wholesales. Oops, shucks.
Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down.
Boll weevils. You know what that reminds me of? Cotton days. Anyway,
Cotton days.
so we ordered, when I used to work out in the cotton fields.
You worked in cotton fields.
Yeah. As a child. I was 6, 7.
Where?
Mississippi.
You're just lying now.
I needed a boll weevil story.
Okay.
So he picked all the parts. Over the next week or so, all the parts arrived at the house. And then one day last week, was it?
Mm-hmm.
One day last week, he came over, Shelley and Kevin came over, and he sat there, and in about, 3 hours, 4 hours, he took all the parts, put them together in a working computer. Now, the next day, it didn't do what I hoped it would do, but that wasn't the computer's fault. It wasn't Kevin's fault. It was my fault. Because I have 3 monitors, I have the Rodecaster Pro, et cetera, et cetera. And but he came over for a little while after his doctor's appointment, no less, and he made it work like magic, and it was great. And now I just have this amazing blazing computer, faster than the Dickens. Let me see. Colorado says, I was out elk hunting last week. It was very cold. But like always, it was a great time being around family and friends.
It's been cold this year.
What state were you elk hunting in? Because we have a good elk season. Apparently, we're having
Colorado.
Good point. Well, I don't know. We get a lot of Coloradans and Texans here. Texans here in New Mexico because it's easier for them. It's cheaper for them to get an out-of-state license.
That guy over there, that's Joe Texanson. That's hard to say.
I worked in a cotton field. See, there were 2 of us. We worked side by side. When the more cotton fields back home.
Oh, you gotta jump down, turn around, pick a bale of cotton. Gonna jump down, turn around, pick a bale a day. Oh, Toby, he can pick a bale of cotton. Oh, Toby, he can pick a bale a day.
Is this an old Negro spiritual?
Probably, but when my daughter was a baby, we went to this little music class, and that was one of the songs that they sang, and they sang each kid's name. And
how cute. Mm-hmm. Nothing like memorizing Negro spirituals. I
think it was just because it was public domain.
White lady.
Public domain music hour.
Oh, he went in Colorado. He went elk hunting in Colorado.
That's what I said.
So let's talk about this week's
show.
But this week's trip, or actually, it was last week's trip, right? Trip. Video.
Video.
We're going to be talking about today.
We went to the Bosque del Apache Wildlife Reserve. We've been there before, but there weren't birdies then. So we went again, and now some of the fields were flooded. The main field was flooded, and there were birdies, but the birdies don't like to show up too much until it's like almost completely dark. So it was cold. It was super windy. We did cook ourselves some food for lunch, and then we got yelled at for that. So,
so we were trying to get somebody. We're trying to get somebody from the facility to do an interview from the property. I don't know what they call it, to do an interview. And this is the second time we've asked, and they always say, "Oh, we're just volunteers. We're not allowed to do interviews." And I said, "Well, is there a ranger?" And then the rangers it's Sunday and the rangers weren't here. So we never get to do an interview. Well, at some point we're sitting there making our lunch, and this volunteer comes up and he starts doing a presentation on the deck next to our table.
Eagle Scout deck.
The Eagle Scout deck. Anyway, he starts doing a presentation, and at some point before he starts the presentation, we ask him, could we ask you to do an interview? And he hems and haws. I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm new. I don't know that much.
Yeah, I don't know that much.
This is my first presentation of the year.
So anyway,
lots of excuses.
Shelley recorded him doing the presentation, but it didn't do any good because he didn't have a microphone on. She was having to use the microphones on on the DJI Pocket, and so it was just wind noise. I mean, that's all we had that day. Had it not been for the microphones that we were using. Anyway, so he finished his presentation, and the folks that were watching the presentation left, and he came over. He put all his stuff away. I remember him closing his. You can hear his beep in our audio as he locked his car. And he came back up to where we were, and he said, "So, what are you guys up to?" And I thought, well, this is very friendly, and I thought maybe we had a chance to get an interview here. So I think, and I didn't put this in the video. It just made the thing too long. It was 20 minutes. It would have added 20 minutes to what we think of as an already long video. Anyway, so we finally convinced him to, although he didn't have to do a video, I said, all we need is your voice, right? So I said, I'll ask Shelley to put the microphone on your collar, and I'll just ask you questions. And I promise to ask you, I promise to ask you, not to ask you any question that would be embarrassing for you, right? They're questions you'll have an easy answer to, because that's what you do with these things. And he finally agreed. So then I started asking him questions, and they were open-ended. What is this National Reserve all about? Like, just tell us how you feel about it. And the second one, he answered, "Oh, I don't think I could answer that." And then the third one was, "I'm not sure I know the answer to that." So I realized this is not going to go well. So I finished it, we recorded it, and then when I went to edit it into the show, I thought, like, this is just not worth it. But anyway, so we're there cooking. He says, "So what are you guys up to here?" We have our stove out, things like that. And Shelley says, we're making our lunch. And he says, is that a stove? I said, yeah, it is. Why? And he says, well, the reserve doesn't allow open fires. Well, my definition of an open fire is one where the flames are open, like in a
Campfire.
A campfire or a fire ring, even if it's a provided fire ring. A butane stove doesn't strike me as an open flame. And I said that. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I imagined that a open fire was like in a fire ring or something like that." And he said, "No, I'm pretty sure it includes stoves like those stoves you have right there." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." At that point, my steak was done anyway, so I took it out. But I don't know if he went back and reported us. Nothing happened after that. And I went looking through. I have their pamphlet, and it says
didn't say anything about that.
It didn't say a word about fires. It said, there's a fire warning there's a fire warning sign. Just be cautious. No open fires are allowed. So anyway, they do say that picnicking is allowed. So I guess what they mean by picnicking is you bring your own tuna sandwich or something.
No fires.
What does Mary Green say? Mary Green says, "Never been to Bosque del Apache National Wildlife Reserve. Sounds interesting." Mary, it is the only obstacle, in my opinion, to getting more people there, is that the birds are on their wintering route. So they get there. They're most prolific in late November through mid-December, which is, of course, the coldest part of the year down there. So you have to be there for the dawn launch. They get up, and as soon as the sun rises, they all take off. They do come back in the evening. Now you're going to see ours, and we'll explain afterwards what happened to us. But we had a good time. We always have a good time. I mean, even if it's a bad time, our little
bad
angel,
time with Toby and Shelley is like a amazing time with anybody else.
Exactly. Even when we have a bad time, it's a good time. All right, you guys ready for the video?
Video.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Video. Hello and welcome to New Mexico Day Trips. Today we're going to be driving down to Bosque del Apache, which is where we get to see the birdies. We have called and heard that the cranes are there and the fields are flooded. So we are hoping to see the performance at sundown. Toby is bringing his long lens camera, and I'll be using video to record the birds flying in and out. We're also going to stop by the visitor center for Bosque del Apache. and just make a quick rounds through there again. So we want to get set up before the 5 o'clock show. So we'll be down there probably about 3:30 to get set up for video and photographs. New music.
Yeah, it came with the product.
Made it to the Bosque del Apache Visitor Center.
Or as Siri says, Bosque del Apache. She doesn't count the E. So we're at the Visitor Center. We're going to make a quick stop here, see if we can get an interview. I'll ask as usual. And then we'll head over to the Nature Reserve from here and find a nice parking spot. So
We'll put his chesty on. One way or
Gotta
another,
put
we'll
the
capture
chesty.
some conversation.
yeah, we'll put the chesty on and get some. Yeah, we always get conversation, don't
That's
we?
right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So safe trip down. We did stop at our favorite rest stop, so
The walking sand.
so that we could launch the drone. We did get our drone shot. Had a lot of conversation today. People were talking. What was that all about?
There's a bug on the. There's a bug.
A bug.
There's a bug.
How big was it? Was it a huge
No, it's
bug
a
that
little
is
bug.
good? All right.
Little
Okay.
bug.
Where was I now? Forgot where I was talking about.
Oh. What
kinda
we're
look like-
doing. What are we doing?
So we're going to stop here. Then we're going to go over to the nature reserve. We're going to find the place. So they have a place called the Swan Pond, which is where all the crane pond.
Crane.
Pond. So we're going to go find that because that's where the best shooting is. We
Crazy
passed
birds.
a bunch of
Your
white snow geese
faces
on the
are
way in, but they weren't doing anything. They were just floating.
They were sleeping.
They were sleeping or whatever they do at this time of the day. Anyway, so we will catch up with you once we get to the other location, okay? Talk to you guys later. Hi. My name is Toby Eunice. I'm with New Mexico Day Trips.
You should be doing
This
that
is
all
my
the time.
partner, Shelley Carney. Has anybody got a time for a short 5
I always say it like it's a major
interview?
corporation.
I know. You're funny.
Like a news interview, I don't think I'm supposed to talk in it.
Somebody, pardon me.
What particular are you asking for?
I'm looking to, for somebody to interview to talk about the nature reserve.
I think everyone's out though. It's lunch.
Wee. Toby spins around in circles.
Yeah, everyone's off.
And he left.
So yeah, all of the high rangers, and that's who you would have to interview about the refuge itself.
High rangers.
It's Sunday, and they're
Are hiding.
If you come back a different day, actual day of the week, like Monday, something like that, you'll be able to catch one then. But yeah, so right now it's all just some low-ranking ones, and they're not really allowed to talk about the refuge, like interviews.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you don't have to apologize. Thank you.
Sucky marketing.
The Friends of Bosque del Apache National Wildlife Reserve operates the nature store inside the visitor center. It offers an excellent selection of books, clothing, and a broad selection of nature-related items from the Southwest.
Yes, please.
Friends members receive a 10% discount on all purchases. The refuge is open every day from 1 hour before sunrise to 1 hour after sunset. The visitor center is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is closed July 4th, Thanksgiving Day, December 25th, and January 1st. The visitor center is closed on Tuesday and Wednesdays during June, July, and August. I'm so informative.
You
The
are.
one-day entry fee is $5 per private vehicle and covers all occupants, or $50 for a commercial vehicle. The fee can be paid at the visitor center during open hours or at the seasonal fee booth. If the fee booth is not open, use the self-pay fee kiosk. Federal passes are available for purchase at the Visitor Center or fee booth during open hours.
So we just went into the visitor center, and I had forgotten that a reserve is not a park. So they have fewer rangers and more volunteers. And the volunteers, I have never been able to get a volunteer to do an interview. So we'll have to do
They
that
don't
the interview.
volunteer
The
for
other
much.
thing they didn't have is challenge coins. And again, the volunteer reminded me that they're not a park, so they don't have challenge coins. So we're going to head over to the reserve area, probably go down on the south route, and look for a place to have lunch. And then once we have lunch, we'll probably move around until we see a bunch of cranes gathering, because cranes gather.
They
Well,
flock.
no, as
they
the
flock?
snow geese do, yeah, they flock. They're flocking birds.
Birds of a feather.
Flock together. Okay, so stay with us, guys. We'll get there sooner or later.
Yeps, we will. The refuge is at the northern edge of the Chihuahuan Desert at an elevation of about 4,500 feet. Days are usually sunny, and a temperature of change of 30 degrees and more between dawn and noon is common.
kinda
Thus,
clunky,
water, a hat, and other sun protection, plus layers of clothing that can be added and removed, are recommended. Just driving around in circles. The refuge lies along both sides of New Mexico Highway 1, which connects to I-25 at exit 139 in the town of San Antonio, and with I-25 at exit 115 south of the refuge. New Mexico Highway 1 is a 45 to 55 mile per hour state highway. Please drive slowly to enjoy and preserve wildlife. Please drive carefully on the gravel roads and stay on the designated roads and turnouts. The speed limit is 25 miles per hour. There are one-way and two-way sections,
I don't know why I
so
spent so
observe
much time
signs
here. Why did you
carefully.
leave this in?
Expect vehicles ahead of you to stop,
Give you a chance to tell your
sometimes
story.
suddenly, as visitors spot interesting birds or other wildlife. Scenic drive roads are wide, so please pull over to allow others to pass safely. The slower you go, the more you will see. Some roads are seasonally open or closed to provide respite areas for wildlife or viewing opportunities. Now this is on the south loop. We went to
All
this
right.
bridge.
So we're crossing one of the acequias, as you can see here. Shelley is behind me. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Shelley's behind me with a pocket, and we're heading onto something called the boardwalk. The idea, it's a hiking trail that goes all the way around. The boardwalk's about a half mile long, and we're going to head out just a little bit. I don't know that we'll see any birds, but we'll head that way anyway.
I disagree.
So this is where they like to feed.
Lakes come from Native Americans.
Let's see what we've got out here.
I am not one. Look, they're straight down.
Now look at your hands. Look at the left hand. Oh, right. Then you bent your arms. Oh, see, look at there.
Well, how am I supposed to hold them?
Well, there is a picnic table out here. It's a long way to walk with all that stuff, though.
Yeah, right. Silly.
Those microphones always make us sound like we're standing next to each other.
The good stuff.
I'm impressed.
I don't know if you can see them. There's one lonely crane out there.
Right there.
Blue skies.
Sure was.
So
wasn't it?
again, for most of the year,
Windy.
And that was with the dead kitties on
Windscreens.
windscreens.
Duck.
There's a duck there, but there's a crane right there.
Howdy. Good, how are you?
Yeah, friendly I am.
I know.
Just talk to him.
But you didn't give them their business, your business card.
Toby Eunice, New Mexico day trips.
It's with my partner, Shelley. Don't forget that part.
I guess it is kind of ballerina-like, huh?
So,
What kind of tape room?
we do have a picnic table, but I got a bunch of equipment to lug.
Need a little
So these
wagon.
ponds will hold warm water fishes like carp and bass.
Yes.
I don't think they're cool enough for trout.
Crappie. Bluegills.
So you can hear some in the reeds because that's where they feed. They go looking for bugs in the reeds over there. But there's none in the water. There's a couple of cranes landing off in the distance there. So the boardwalk.
So the pockets of
gentleman
blue is
signaling
a
for us
little
to go
bit
over there
different
and see
than
what he's got.
Cracks and cracks.
there's a point at which I whisper, thinking somehow or the other you're going to hear me. So,
Is your way over there? You're whispering at me? I'm supposed to hear
watch,
you.
watch.
So there's a crane.
Shelley, there's a crane over there.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. Just be quiet. Don't make noise.
How funny. I must have known you were saying that because I was
You
filming.
got him. He's
There he
right
went.
there.
Shelley's got
Watch what's here's what's really cute. Watch it.
Oh, dang it. Oh, it flew away.
Dang it, he flew away. I'm telling you, those mics pick up everything.
Okay.
That's with my chest cam. Chesty.
Can you fish and boat there?
Can
We're
you
going to
zoom
answer
in on
those
that crane?
questions.
I don't know. Can I?
We'll answer
Zoom in.
questions after the video up because I'm going to take off our logo for just a sec.
Are you recording?
Uh-huh.
So, where are you?
I'm right here.
This button right here. Push that up.
Where are you? I'm right here.
What did you just?
There's the crane.
3.5 times
Oh,
zoom
it's
on that
already
pocket.
zoomed in. Get that crane over there. Okay, you're not recording. I mean, I turned it off. All right, let's continue down that direction, see if we can get a picnic table that's within sight of the road.
Okay.
If not, then we'll just cook on the back of the truck.
I think I got that crane when he was over there. So,
You were pointed in the right direction.
but I
Positive
wasn't zoomed in
reinforcement.
or anything. So I think we got a little of him anyway. The Indian Well, Chupadera, and Little San Pascual Wilderness units are open for hiking year-round from 1 hour before sunrise to 1 hour after sunset. Motorized vehicles, bicycles, and overnight camping are not allowed in the wilderness area, but you may hike off-trail. Travel is at your own risk, and you should notify a friend or family member of your trip plans. A picnic pavilion with trash cans is near the visitor center. You may also eat at other locations of your choice, but be careful not to leave litter. If you packed it in, please pack it out. There is no camping on the refuge for the public. This rule also applies to RVs. No overnight parking is allowed. Staff at the visitor center can advise about camping and RV parks in the area. Takes you
All
to
right,
the
so I don't
Rio
even know if you
Grande.
guys can hear us right now. We're crossing the Acequia, and I want to show you two things. I already took some footage of this, but once you cross the bridge, we're going to hit a gravel trail that is the only place in the reserve where you can ride a bike. So I showed you the Acequia.
Acequia. I don't know why I like saying that.
And apparently, you can go to the right or go south for 5.5 miles that way, or you can go to the left or north for 5.5 miles that way. So it's 11 miles round trip on each side, or 22 miles if you do both sides round trip. So I think the next time I come out here, which may not be till next spring, I'm going to bring my bike and we'll take the tour. All right, so this trail, the map says that if we take this trail, that we'll eventually get to the Rio Grande. Now, the flora gets pretty dense along the river at this point, so I'm not sure that we'll actually be able to get to it. We'll see once we're up at the top of this hill.
He wants to know what a second.
Yeah, it's on. I'm just amazed at the quality and stability of that little DJI action cam.
Gets our shadows. What was that?
Yeah.
I think
Can
I
you
have
hear it?
my hand in front of it.
Yeah.
I want to get one for you with a chest cam. Chesty, for you.
So we can hear the river running. But like I said, the foliage is pretty dense around the river. And they don't cut it back because it's a wildlife reserve. And so they keep it as natural as possible to support the wildlife.
Should have brought your machete.
So I said I didn't have my machete with me.
So we can hear it, but we can't see it. Did I mention that it was the Rio Grande?
I think we mentioned it a few times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as you can see, right below me here is a pretty steep fall off, but it's again covered in foliage and brush and fallen cottonwoods. So I don't think we're going to be able to get to it unless we do some bushwhacking, and I didn't bring my machete with me. So we're facing towards the mountains west of the reserve. It gets prettier in the afternoon when the sun starts setting. That's why we have to go find a place. Now, I was mentioning to Shelley, it's pretty windy out here. The wind is probably 15 to 18 knots, as you may be able to hear. But as we go north on the North Loop Road, eventually the trees are dense enough so that they'll block the easterly wind. So we're going to head in that direction now. All right?
All right. All right.
All
We
right.
are at Eagle Scout deck,
Eagle Scout deck.
Eagle
Yeah.
Scout deck, and we're going to
I think we're going to have lunch here.
lunch. Yeah, they got picnic tables here.
So they do have the picnic tables, but also this is the view that I've come to in the past when I wanted to shoot this. And what we might do is there's a road. Does that road go up the side there?
That's this
Which one?
seasonal road here.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll eat here, and then after dinner we'll go up that road and find a place to park. Because if they're going to come, there's water out there, and in the evening they always come back to water. They're all spread out all over right now feeding, but they all come back to the water at night. So if we get a prime spot here, we could get a prime spot, but everybody shows up here as well. This gets pretty packed in the evening, so we'll see.
In December.
We need to have dinner or lunch, whatever. What are we eating here? Food. So I'm gonna make dinner,
2
and
o'clock.
then we'll
2 o'clock lunch food.
2 o'clock lunch, and then we'll figure out what to do after that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear it, but the flame is actually, even with the windbreak, it's being blown around. So let's put it in there and see what happens. Ugh, where's my little wipey things? Get ready.
Oh,
right.
thicky.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna keep a box of gloves in that container. Lorraine says hi.
So the seasoning we're going to use for this is the Perfect Pinch steak seasoning. If I can get it on there without the wind just blowing it away. And I don't think I'll try both sides. I think I'll just go with one.
Oh,
All right, jeez.
you can put it in there until you're ready for it.
Okay. So we'll let that cook up on each side. And you know what I can give you is what do you want to drink? You've got club soda, Diet 7-Up, Diet Dr. Pepper. Okay, I think what I'm going to do.
I never did answer.
No, you I actually made up your mind for you.
Right?
And let's see what I'm doing here, guys.
Lids.
And meanwhile, I think what you're going to have to do is just hang on to those. What I'll do is I'll put some veggies on first.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled out a club soda for you.
Thank you. Because I couldn't decide.
Oh, there you go. You got it there. All right. We're going to let this rest for just a little bit right there.
Get cold.
And like I said, these are pretty good size. These are
We can get
the thin
cold.
And
cuts,
get cold, yeah.
but they're pretty good size. So I'm going to slice it for us. I'm not going to do it now because if I do it now, it's going to
Get cold.
bleed. I don't want it to bleed too much.
Oh. That's why you're resting?
Yeah. So the juices go back into the center.
Ah. Toby's chips for cooking steak.
Well, every good chef knows that.
Well, yeah, but maybe good chefs aren't watching. Maybe people who don't know those things are watching.
So what I'm going to do is as soon as it rests a little bit, we're just going to slice it in this direction. Let the pan and so the gentleman said that we may not be allowed open fires here. I've never thought of a cook stove as an open fire, but I don't want to make and it's kind of too late now. It's already done, so.
It's out, right?
It's out. So wrap those in tin foil for me, please. And then give me the smaller ones. There's a
Should have
smaller
wrapped the
set
meat in
in there.
tinfoil. Keep it warmer.
You know what? You're probably right. I'll have to do that the next time if we're out of that kind of weather.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 35, 40 degree wind chill.
It was windy and cold for sure.
Just making sure the flame is
At
off.
least the sun was out.
Yeah.
We'll wrap that up here in just a minute. Yeah, there we go. And then there's a big plastic rice bowl. So I'll use that for the vegetables. And I'll put the vegetables and the meat in your plate, and then just set it down kind of,
Do your best.
yeah, do your best.
You hear the geese?
'Cause I'm not sure we're going to make it through the wind part of all this.
As long as my hat doesn't fly away, I should be okay.
So I finally did
Sometimes
get
the hat
some
wants to take off. That's why I
butane
put
from
the hat
Amazon.
in the back,
So I'll try
the hat
butane
doesn't
the next
fly.
time instead of the propane.
So I don't mind my beef a little bit red. I prefer it rare. Medium, actually.
Yeah, me too. It wasn't that red.
But not chicken. Shelley likes it like that too, so.
It was red enough. It was medium.
All right.
Part of it was
Let's
medium.
start taking
Part of it
some of
was
this
well
down
done.
and putting it away. So this folds up very nicely. They're not expensive. They're like 10 bucks. And they come in their own bag. I'm going to let you do it because I keep two of us together. So the pan will cool off here in just a minute. I'm going to save this for later in case we get chilly. So my only concern is that we won't see the birds coming in here for another probably
He said 3 to 4. So that
3 to
shouldn't be
4,
too
yeah,
much
and then
longer.
they'll stay around for a while. Sometimes they take off. That's what I'm hoping, is that they'll...
We might be too early in the year still for the big.
I don't remember coming in
Flying
December.
in
I
or flying out?
remember coming mid-November.
Yeah.
I went back and checked the photos that I took the last time, and it was November 18th. And there was plenty of birds, so... Take this apart while we're... So I did try to get some butane canisters which fit in here.
You brought
They're
them
very
back?
compact, but nobody has them. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that.
No, you're not supposed to do that. Not without sticking the other end in the balloon.
Walmart didn't have them. I'll make sure to cut that out.
No, leave it in.
Walmart
Show the
didn't.
fails.
Walmart didn't have them. Big R didn't have them in Tractor Supply Center, and there seems to be like a shortage of butane canisters. Now I did see them on Amazon, and I can order a case of them, so that's what I'll probably do next time to save us a little space. But the nice thing about these is I have a tool that lets me attach it to my big propane canister, and I can refill it. So I don't know if you guys can see the effects of the wind here. I'm gonna go walk over here for a sec. So, if you can't hear it, you can see it. That's the wind that we're dealing with right now. So, and of course, vehicles that come by leave a dust cloud and it flies right into my steak.
Because you just leave it out in the open, in the cold.
Instead of putting tinfoil on it.
Chop it up and put it on some
I agree.
food and let's eat it.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. You know what I'm going to ask you to do? I'm going to ask you to hold your plate. What do I do with my knife?
Charlie's a good eater.
Shh, don't tell.
No, you are. You're
Wow.
Windy day. It's in New
and I had to
Mexico, man.
replace that knife. I
That's what
broke it.
happens. You did? New How'd you Mexico. manage that?
Don't know. The spring lock quit working on me. Almost. You'll see it here. I almost slipped with it.
Oh, you break it while you're cutting with it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Say
didn't know
when
that.
and I'll just serve you.
Oh,
It's a Kershaw
good?
too.
That was
Shouldn't break.
All right.
I have a Mora that I'm going to take with us.
So yeah, these big thin ribeyes, they make them good size. So they're, I bought 2 of them, but I figured we're not going to eat them both. Let's go. Okay, so here's. the top
any
is
flat
mixed- what they
surface
call
is
them,
completely
California
covered by
vegetables.
Horizontal surface.
whatever
and below
Toby's
that
got in
is-
his hands.
Pearl couscous.
Nom nom.
Can I say that?
I didn't realize how shaky I am. You see
And then
Because you're an old man.
that? Mm-hmm.
got some sticky. And there's a roll in there cut in half for you already.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
How's that look?
What do you want me I do with this plate?
You go ahead. I'll take care. I think if I keep it right here, it'll be fine.
I'm surprised how well his mics do with all that kind of wind.
No, I'm really impressed with them. We had that one moment on the boardwalk, you know.
Freaking knife in
But other than that, with the little windscreen that they come with, really work.
Well, if they don't allow the open flames, I think he let us at least get away with it.
Yeah. He did say for next time, so.
For next time, he said.
I didn't want to get in trouble for not having told us what's
Beforehand, yeah. You think that's it?
What. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep the, there's more veggies and couscous in here.
Pearl couscous.
So I'm going to keep it warming in case you want some more.
Okay.
See that thing right there? My dad used to call it the colita, the little tail. And that was his favorite part of the ribeye. You should be able to cut it with a plastic knife. It's tender enough. But if not, I can come and cut it for you.
Like I do with my grandkids. I should have left, I should have left the lid on right here, but no, I had to.
Cut against the grain.
That's where I broke it, right there. See, there's a spring on it that holds it in place.
Okay, if you guys see my steak rolling off my cutting board here and onto the...
Into the duck pond.
So, I'm happy that we got an interview.
Yeah. That we didn't use.
That we didn't use. It's too cheesy.
You and your interviews.
Golden Key Nuts, I make my own
Pass me some of the
sauce.
little bottle
You
of
may
dressing.
see us. There it
Where's
is. Where it is. Here we go. There we go.
Ooh.
Ew.
So this is my secret recipe for red meat dressing. And it's good.
It was sticky. That's where I went.
Ciabatta. Ciabatta.
Yeah, I thought it would go good with it.
I'm just going to leave it in the bag
Well, it's cut in half, so you can take a whole half for yourself.
as it flies away. It's
As oh, it's going to fly away. I think I'm going to go with
Thanks for some exciting TV here.
that's 7-Up.
You and me having food.
Hey, have you watched the other camping?
No, I have no
All right,
interest.
normally I sit across from Shelley, but
They get
I think I'm gonna
23,000
sit
views
with my
within
back to
5
the wind,
hours.
so I can get through this meal.
Just people want to watch us eat. Okay.
It's me,
Well,
my sitting
how
down
is it?
noise.
Very good.
Old man sitting down noise.
So ribeye with pearl couscous and California veggies. So California veggies are carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. With just a little touch of butter. Hand me the other utensils there. Oh, all right, guys, we're not going to ask you to watch us eat, but thanks for joining us. We should get some pictures tonight. We'll just have to see how the weather. I'm hoping that the wind will drop off by sunset, and then we get some shots in.
Did-
But
Nope.
we'll just have to see. We could have another New Mexico
Fail
day
due to
trips
wind again.
fail. Yeah.
Due to wind.
All right, guys, turning off.
Well, the wind blew us away, so we're going to look for a more sheltered spot since we finished eating and we don't need a picnic table anymore. So we're leaving Eagle Scout
Deck.
deck. We're going to go towards the snow geese and see if we can get a better angle and something that's protected from the wind.
From the wind, yeah.
Yeah.
Except now the wind's changed from the east to the south. So it goes right up that road. We'll have to see. So I don't want this to be a fail. We don't have what I would call bird shots yet because we haven't seen anybody. There's a flock of snow geese just north of us that we can see. So if nothing else, we can go over there and start throwing rocks at them so they'll fly off.
Hopefully we'll see some cranes We've saw one or two, so
Yeah.
we know they're about. And they're all feeding, I guess, right now, if they're not being blown away by the wind.
So, but we had a great dinner.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
It
was
got
fun.
a little cold by the time we could get.
That's the
eating
that's
to
the other
it,
problem
'cause
is
the wind
so
blew on it too much.
the wind was just blowing on it, making it cold. All right, guys, we'll talk to you in a bit once we get settled over there.
Here we go. Flight deck. I think this was a good place to end up.
Sun setting. It's still a little bit cold, but we were there.
A little bit cold. I had on
I put a jacket
a
on.
t-shirt and a flannel long sleeve
if-
shirt
if
and
I
my
have a-
vest and a coat
If I have a jacket on,
and then a hat
that's cold.
and then a scarf and gloves. And it was still kind of cold. And wool socks. Luckily. That big
Look
one.
at these guys. They look like
There I am. That's how my mom used to dress up in South Dakota. Scarf and a hat.
slow-mo. Slow-mo.
Tuck that strap in. Like some
How come
goofus.
your stack doesn't stick out like that?
Little buttonhole. You stuff it back in the buttonhole. You managed to get the duck's face. You managed to get the duck's
Yeah,
face.
yeah. Well, it was funny because it was like he was intentionally turning the other direction.
All I saw was duck butts. Duck butts.
More duck butts.
Okay, so that was a long day of waiting for the birds, and they don't show up till it's almost completely
Oh, I didn't
dark
flip this one.
and cold and windy, and I mean it's pretty, but it's harder to get good pictures when it's that dark.
Yeah, I mean, I had my ISO set at 6400 just to get enough. I mean, they're birds in flight.
And they're still coming in.
They're still coming in.
They're flocking in now because it's like it's almost completely dark, as you can see out the back window.
So I don't know if we played, if by this time you've heard that conversation that we had with the gentleman who finally volunteered to do an interview, but he said mid-December. So I may come back by myself. I don't think I'll put Shelley through this again to get some more shots. But, you know, we had a good day. We had traveled together. We had a good drive. We got some drone footage. We got some time lapse. We got to eat dinner in the wind again. And this was a wind and a half. And now it was getting cold enough that I couldn't use my hands to change the lens on the camera, and my mouth kind of had stopped working. But
They just keep flying
they're
in
still
and
coming
flying
in.
and flying in.
So
I hear
anyway,
this.
guys, we had a good day, and we hope you enjoy it. And we strongly recommend that you get out here. And apparently the time is somewhere
Lots
between
of
the
layers. And
Yeah.
if you're coming for the evening show, then don't plan for them to really start flocking in until it's just barely
Sunset.
just a little bit of light left in the sky.
So I don't remember doing this, but there was a guy on YouTube that I was looking at night before last, and he was here at 4:30 in the morning waiting for the takeoff. Now I've done takeoffs before, and I'm not a morning person, so I don't know how I got that to work. But I guess I'm just gonna have to be reusing the same photos.
This is in the dark iPhone
From-
footage.
Come on,
I mean, it's
2008.
really
we were
no
waiting
light.
and we were waiting
Yeah.
and we were waiting.
I couldn't shoot that anyway. There's not enough light.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't.
Well, you can do it with the iPhone.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Use your new iPhones. You should be able to get a good shot, and put your iPhone on one of those gimbals. What do you call
Yeah.
those?
If you put it on an OM
that might be the
DJI
best way to go.
OM6, put it on a gimbal, because they really do have very good low light capability. The products that we're using, I mean, the Lumix has good, but the DJI products are not notorious for their low light capabilities. I probably said that wrong. They're notorious for their lack of low light capabilities, but we got some shots. We're happy.
Yes.
It wasn't a wasted
you know,
trip.
it's birds.
Yeah, it's birds.
It's
They'll come back every.
cranes and ducks.
We'll come
and
back every year.
Snow geese and sparrows and other birds. And I just, the birds of the feathers flock together, and you see them come in clumps.
You can say
Clumps.
goodbye now. You're
Oh, okay. Bye.
As you point out, look, there's just more coming in.
There was. They kept coming in after we got in the truck.
All right, we got some questions that we got to answer here. Let's see. How many, Colorado says, how many different types of birds are there in December? The gentleman that we asked the question of said that you can find up to 250 different species. And that's why it's such a birding location. I mean, it is very popular with birders, but that's all during all times during the year. I got one of the birding pamphlet fold out things that the produced by the who is it does that? Nature Force. And he said up to 250 different species. What's big about this time of the year is they get the big flocks of cranes and snow geese and black snow geese. And there was one other species that comes in these massive flocks. But you can see birds of all kinds
Well,
all over.
they had those sparrows that do those.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
fly in a.
Right. Those, when the sparrows kind of flock and they fly and they actually have this
Formations.
pattern that they make that's very interesting. There's a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
And then I saw a lot of blackbirds. I saw a lot of, what's the blackbird with the red? I can't remember now.
Not a
But
crow.
yeah, the ones that you'll see, the
Dark
ones that
crows.
will land in the water, the snow geese and the cranes mostly. But you'll also see ducks. We saw a lot of ducks right in front of us, actually. But all the water birds, all the waterfowl are what you go for to get the images. But there's birders out there with, big monstrous lenses on their monopods. I only had a 300 millimeter lens. I tried the 500, but there was just not enough light for it. There's just not enough light for that length lens at that time of the evening. So looking on, I came across, there is an adapter. You can get them. I bought mine at Tractor Supply Center. the Bernalillo Tractor Supply Center, and you can buy them. It's a nice, easy adapter. You adapt it to your big propane tank, flip it over on its head, and then you can put the smaller tank in there, the 1 pound tank in there, and it fills. And you have to do it. I watched a video on it, and you have to put it on, fill it as much as you can. Then you have to press down the button to release the top, which is oxygen. And you keep doing it. It takes 4 or 5 times before it fills it back to the full 1 pound. It's not actually 1 pound. I think you try for 29 ounces is a full green tank. But yeah, I have one and I use it to refill mine. The only problem with it, as far as I've heard, it's not illegal to refill them, but it becomes illegal to transport them. And actually, they make tanks that are refillable, the 1 pound tanks that are refillable and are DOT transportable. And I was going to buy one, but the damn things are $50. So it just didn't make much sense. So if you're stopped by, I don't know, Department of Transportation officer, and they say, "Do you have any green 1 pound butane tanks?" You say, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Did you buy those new?" You say, "Yes, I bought them new." So apparently that's the only problem with it. Elcon thought you were funny.
Oh yeah, I'm a hoot.
Got to have A1 sauce. Yeah, I do my own meat sauce that's top secret, but very flavorful. Cool. Yes, it was cool. Looks good. It was good. He lost the ability to taste food about 3 months ago. VA is sending me in January for MRI. Never got COVID that I know. I do know one of my daughters. So a lot of my East Coast daughters, all of whom have children, all got COVID, but they were all vaccinated. So they were mild cases. And I think only one of them lost their sense of taste temporarily. And then it came back. I haven't heard of anyone doing it permanently through COVID, although
I think older people have more trouble rebounding from it.
Yeah. I mean, if you do a blood test, you'll have COVID in you. So they might be able to tell. Not all taste levels. Yeah. That sounds very COVID to me. That's how it sounded. They were serious bird watchers. They were hoping for the same thing. Pretty much everyone was hoping for the big landing and big takeoff, and we just didn't get it that night.
Might have been too windy, or
whatever
not
it was.
enough of them yet.
Yeah.
Or we don't know.
So I shot over 300 images that night. So when you shoot like that and you're tracking them, you're shooting on so you take multiple exposures, and the camera that I use will shoot 60 exposures a second. So you have to go through all of that every time you hold that button down. If you hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, you've got a 240 or 360 images that you have to look at to find the one that you actually caught them. Later in the evening, of course, as the light goes down, your shutter speed opens up more. Your shutter opens up more. Your shutter speed goes down, and so you can't get them. There's not enough. You need a lens. I don't know whether you noticed there was one guy there with a Canon lens, and it was the Canon zoom from 100 to 500 millimeters, and that's a $2,700 lens, the one that he had.
They were flying into the wind as they were landing,
Yeah.
and the wind was so strong that a lot of times they would just kind of hover there for a little bit before they could touch down where they wanted to go.
Well, once they do, they land like aircraft where they basically lower their flaps. They spread their wings and they come down relatively slowly. And because of the wind, it was even slower than normal. I mean, they're beautiful in flight. They're very graceful in flight, and they look beautiful on the ground. And when you see them in these big, massive flocks like I did last year, I just found a couple. I was over at my storage unit this afternoon, and I found a couple of hard drives that I had forgotten about. Not that I didn't know I had them, I just had forgotten them. And I think the 2018 footage and shots are on there. So I'll try and get some of those and upload them to one of our Google photo drive, whatever they call it, so you guys can see some of those, because that year I was there, and you can see it's not even sunset. It's definitely not dawn, because I don't do dawn.
It was a warmer year probably too, though.
That's how I remember. I don't remember saying to myself that it's really cold today. And I remember I have shots of the people that were there, and they had coats on, but they weren't bundled up like we were this time. So anyway, we'll have some more stuff for you, I'm sure. Let's see, got some new comments down here. Nice pics. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was fun. This has not been a good year for sneak to come. Yeah.
Ravens.
Boll
stealing the
weevils, ravens.
pecans.
Well, with any luck, maybe the ravens will eat the boll weevils. Boll weevils. Boll weevils.
Got an
Yeah, I had about 18
unkindness
this
of,
morning.
an unkindness of ravens.
No. Oh, it is an unkindness. Murder of crows, unkindness of ravens. And a group of cranes is called a sedge of cranes.
Mm.
Fake owls and other birds of prey. Yeah. Or you can just stand out there like that. Scare crows. To scare the crows away. All right. You got any last words before we go?
That's all we have. We hope that inspired you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy your holidays, however you enjoy your holidays.
I did. There was a question I forgot to answer. It
Oh.
was. What did that? Okay. So Mary Green asked, can you fish and boat there? You can't boat. There is no boating allowed, not even kayaking. You can fish and you can hunt on the wild reserve. Now, there are restrictions. There are only.
There's not going to be any fish in that flooded
So that's the
field.
qualifier. You
because the
can't-
water's only like,
Yeah.
you saw the cranes standing in
Yeah.
it. It's only about that deep.
So fish are kind of, you can find them any place. You find turtles. There are fish in some of the ponds. Of course, if you can get down to the Rio Grande, you can fish in the Rio Grande. The problem with that is it's very difficult to get down to the Rio Grande there because they don't cut it back. It's all natural growth. And you literally, you would spend a day getting bushwhacking your way to the Rio Grande in
I
order
guess
to
it's
go
cool
fishing.
because what it looked like when people first showed up there, that it was like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'd have to go, I hear water.
Yeah.
There's got to be water here.
So the other thing is by that time, the Rio Grande is too warm for trout that far south. So you're not going to find any trout. You're going to find warm water fish. And there's a lot of carp and stuff that I don't consider good eating. But you can go fishing. And also during the hunting season, they do have hunting season down there for deer and javelina and what was the other one? There's no elk down there. Deer, javelina, and antelope. So, which surprised me. I didn't think they'd be that far.
Well, he said they even have oryx in there every now and then.
Oh, that's
but they
right.
don't
Oryx.
hunt. I
That
don't
was the other
believe
one,
they
the
hunt
long-
for oryx because they're not.
The only place you can hunt for oryx in New Mexico is every year on the. They have a special hunt on the White Sands Missile Range.
Oh.
Not on White Sands National Monument, but they apparently somebody brought them in, and they're very prolific.
Hmm.
And so they have to have a hunt every year to reduce the population. My favorite hunt, well, I think I told you the hunt that we used to do every year, not every year, but every 2 or 3 years, was the one on Dulles Airport
Yeah.
for deer. That because they had to,
Shooting fish in a barrel.
yeah, and it was everybody filled out their tag. That was for sure. So yes, you can fish there, but you're going to find warm water fish. You can hunt there during particular seasons, but there is no boating any place. It's all pretty low level water. Well, on the other hand, if you wanted to kayak down the Rio Grande, of course, that's legal because that's what do you call it? Open water. So open water. I think that's all the questions. Let's see. Told me to knock off a few and hang a few of them in the trees to extreme. Hang what?
The birds.
Oh, yeah, to kind of friend away. Yeah. Sounds a little bit like the Nazis.
Scarecrows.
Oh.
We need scarecrows.
Just scarecrows.
Scare ravens.
And there's people out there. I know you can hire people to just wave their arms around to keep the birds off. So.
Give them those signs to flip around.
Bye, birds. Don't come here.
Well, it
These
could
are my
even
pecans.
it could even say pecans for sale, and
Yeah.
it could be flipping it around, but the birds can't
You
read
show up here,
anyways.
we will shoot you and hang you from the trees.
As I said, the birds can't read anyway.
Good point.
Silly. All right.
I don't think I've never eaten an oryx, nor would I. I think most people hunt them for their trophy horns.
Yeah.
I don't imagine. Like I said, this hunt down there that
I
occurs.
don't think they're that.
It's
many of them.
It isn't
around.
every year, but they literally have to have a special hunt.
Here.
Not up here, no. Down south.
Oh.
They're
Did not know that.
they're not a winter. They're not a like sheep and deer and things like that, or elk. So
All right.
okay.
We're going to have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I will be live at 4:00 on the Books Cafe YouTube channel. In case you have nothing else to do on Thanksgiving Day, you know, show up, hang out, ask a question, say hello. And the show with me and Jen tomorrow is pre-recorded, and it's mostly about gratitude and what we do with our gratitude and how we express it.
And our 1:00 show tomorrow, we were too lazy to pre-record it, so
Yeah,
there
we're
is
not
no
gonna
1:00
do that one.
show. So
Well, I guess we could turn on the camera and show
So-
our food off like we do for this show.
you want to see me putting together the turkey dinner? So next week we're trying to figure out where we're going to go. We are going someplace this weekend. I had an invitation. Well, it was weird because this lady invited me. She's doing some research work in Santa Fe on one of the areas in town on the other side of the river that has historical significance. And she needed some drone work done. And so she contacted me to do the drone work. I wrote her back, said I'd be happy to. And I haven't heard back. We were going to do.
Well, it is Thanksgiving. She might be busy.
I wrote her on Monday,
Well, people travel.
I guess.
You got one other comment you missed.
Oh, I did. 2 comments. Let's say.
Just thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And see, be safe, stay well, enjoy your Thanksgiving, hopefully with family.
That's right. And we plan to do that. And we wish
That's what
the
we're
same
going to
for
be
you.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. That's all. We'll see you next week, if not sooner.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't forget, we love you.